We're almost a quarter of the way through the year, and already the real estate market is heating up. But if you want to know one neighborhood that defies gravity and the prices this year are actually 15% less than what they were last year, stick with me on this Nosy Neighbor Report, and I'm going to tell you all about it. My name is Nick Cates. I'm a Los Angeles realtor. I specialize in connecting sellers with eager buyers in the private market to create win-win situations. Do you know Faircrest Heights? If you don't, Faircrest Heights is actually a very, very popular neighborhood in Mid-City that is bordered by Pico Boulevard on the north, La Cienega Boulevard on the west, Kaiser Hospital / Venice on the south, and Fairfax Avenue on the east. Now, this neighborhood is really popular because it has a great mix of 30s style Spanish homes, as well as some mid-century homes and some small multifamily apartment buildings. It's also very centrally located and has great eateries and things like that nearby. But actually this year, and I call this my Nosy Neighbor Report, because everybody who is interested in either buying or selling real estate wants to know the inner details of what's happening in particular neighborhood markets. And in this report, and I'm going to show you how you can get a copy of this very detailed report for your own private use for free. But my report always breaks down the numbers and then gives you a little bit of detail about individual properties that are going to give you insights into exactly how those numbers come about. So anyway, let's get into the numbers, speaking of which. So if we look at the number of active listings in 2026, we have 4 active listings that have been on the market between January and March of this year, basically the first quarter. And you see that the average listing price for these is about almost 1.8 million. You got 4 listings, about typically between 3 and 4 bedrooms. And the highest list price is 2.3 million. Now, keep in mind that properties that sell in that range are typically very well updated. They're not in original condition. They have new kitchens, new bathrooms, the whole bit. Properties that sell in the 1.2, 1.3, even sometimes less, those tend to be properties that have not been on the market very recently. So you see, you have 4 new listings. You have you have 2 listings that are actually active under contract. That means that they're in escrow. There's a buyer that has stepped up, and there's 2 of them. And one is, like I said, it's one of those older properties. And this one that's 1.6 is probably had some modest updates, but is not completely renovated. You also have 3 listings that have canceled. 2 of them are over $2 million. And properties that canceled typically are properties that did not get the asking price that the seller was interested in getting. And then again, you have 3 properties that are actually almost ready to close. They're pending. Pending means that they are in escrow. They're toward the end of their escrow cycle and they're ready to close. And again, you have 1 property that is probably very well updated. And you can get all the actual details, the pictures, the square footage, all the stuff that you would want to know about these individual properties in my Nosy Neighbor Report, which you can get for free. And then you have the most important issue is the properties that have sold during this period of this year. And the average sale price is 1.470. So as I said to you, prices this year are actually down 15% from what they were the year prior. And I'm going to show you that coming up. But it's just something to keep in mind that prices don't always go up. Sometimes they do go down. So now let's look back at 2025. In 2025, the first quarter, there actually were no active listings. The only listings that we had were 4 that were canceled. And as you can see, they were typically, the first 3 were older properties that were in the 1.3 to 1.7 million dollar range. So they were probably had some updates, but not many. And then you had 1 on Point View that was listed at almost $2.1 million. And then here's where you see where the difference in price was. Remember I said this year, the average sale price was in the $1.5 million range. Well, last year, the average sale price was in the $1.7 million range. Now, to a certain degree, that was pushed up by this property right here on Stearns that sold for 1.3, a little over 1.3 million. And then you had another couple that sold at one sold at 1.3, and then one sold at 1.5. But this $2.3 million sale really pushed up the overall numbers on it. And then you had some residential income properties that sold as well. And in my Nosy Neighbor Report, you can see all the information about those reports. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you an example of that report. So this is the report that you can get for this year. And it actually allows you to click on individual property. You see that this property on Point View is active right now for 2.3 million. You can see all the pictures. You can scroll down, you can get the description, you can find out when it was listed, what the original list price was. You get all the data and details on the property that would give you an idea if you were looking to sell and you wanted to kind of get a sense of what your property was like, against that particular property. Then you'd be able to kind of look at all the individual properties, get all the data, and be able to kind of compare and get an idea. And if you'd like a copy of this report, you can click the link in the description. I can connect you with the link to be able to download the reports for free, as well as basically an overview. You don't have to necessarily go to the detailed report. You can get the general numbers, but it will give you, if you're looking to buy or sell in Faircrest Heights, a good sense of it. So again, that's my nosy neighbor report for the first quarter 2026 for Faircrest Heights. If you have questions, or if you'd like to get a detailed analysis of your particular property, maybe you or your parents, one of the things about this neighborhood, as with many, there are many older homeowners who are looking, who are now thinking about what to do with their property. Maybe they are looking to downsize, maybe they are empty nesters, maybe they're looking to move out of the area, or there are other issues that come up as well. I can connect you with buyers who can make full market value offers on your property, even without listing it. So if you want to know more about how that works, definitely connect with me. But for now, definitely get a copy of this report if you're interested in Faircrest Heights, and we'll see you on the next Nosy Neighbor Report.